I've had the chance to work and talk with a bunch of you this year, which is excellent. Those of you who I haven't, I look forward to and hope to get to soon. I work, like I said, work in the admissions office within the boys' dorm. Also do the Gould Outing Club. Those are kind of some of the ways I associate myself with Gould and my role here. But priority and first and foremost is always that I'm an alumni. Gould's been a huge influential factor in my life. As a young adult and young person, coming here was pretty special for me. It's been special for a lot of people, so we wanted to sit down and talk to you about that, both with some current students and myself, and Miss Olson, who's an alumni from my era as well. So Jimmy Catlin, class of 2007, from Brunswick, Maine. I spent 3 years here at Gould. I came in as a sophomore and lived all 3 years in Davidson Hall, which is the #1 boys' dorm on campus.
Hi everyone, my name is Madison Herzog. I'm currently a senior here at Gould Academy. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I've been at Gould since the winter term of my 8th grade. Gould's just a really special place to me. It's really helped me grow as a person, and I've just really enjoyed my time here thus far.
I'm Stephen Dexter. I came here as a freshman. I spent 4 years in the #1 boys dorm, Holden, and we actually won tug of war this year, Winter Carnival. First year it's ever happened, so pretty proud of that. I don't really know what we're saying. So.
My name is Jory Olson. I graduated from Gould in 2006. I went to Gould for 4 years. I started as a freshman. I'm from Madison, New Hampshire, and then I have recently been living in Portland, Maine before starting here in the fall. I obviously loved Gould, that's why I'm back here. And after Gould, I went to Bates College for 4 years, and I studied psychology. And then I went on to nursing school at the University of New England in Portland, Maine. And now I'm here.
I also went to St. Michael's College, Troy, which is a good thing, where you matriculate to. And Madison will be going to?
George Washington University.
Bozeman, and well, Montana State University, Bozeman.
So Ms. Androsi has a few questions for us that are kind of going to be prompts, and definitely throughout this conversation, if you guys have questions that arise or if you want us to elaborate or talk about anything more in depth, I encourage that, and please stick your hand up and don't be afraid to.
Okay, ready? So, why and how did you decide on Gould?
I'll start off and we'll work down the line. I ended up at Gould in a pretty, in a kind of roundabout way. As I said, I came as a sophomore. I did look at Gould for the 9th grade, and I was a family legacy at a larger school down in Massachusetts, formerly known as Governor Dummer, and spent a year there. And my parents kind of, I don't want to say forced, but they were pretty excited for me to go there. And after a year down there, I didn't really feel like I was in an environment that supported me and my interests and what I wanted to do. And it was kind of, felt like I wasn't in a place that was going to help me grow. Had the chance to come back to look at Gould and really felt like it was the right place for me to move forward. I came here, would have been in fall of 2004, and from the first day, just had a great group of friends, knew a handful of kids coming into the place, and that really just, meeting kids throughout my time here and having roommates who were really supportive and really felt like they cared about me and my interests was huge.
So I primarily was interested in Gould because of the way that academics and skiing lines up, but I would say one of the biggest reasons why I chose to come here is due to Mr. Samart and Miss Samart. I lived in a house with them for winter term, and it was just so amazing how welcoming they were, and how when you would go to the mountain and you would ski with people that were older than you, how everyone would just be like, hey, do you need help, or what's kind of going on? Do you need me to do anything? And that's something that I think is really special about Gould. It's such a good community, and you don't find that everywhere.
I don't know if I could really point it down to like one thing that for me was the thing that directed me to Gould. But I think my big moment was when I first toured campus. You can ask my mom about this if you actually met her. But we were driving through campus and we came up, we started our tour, and the second I got to the flagpole outside Hanscom, I turned to my mom and said, "This is where I want to go." Like, it was just like this overwhelming feeling of belonging the second I stepped on campus. And that was it. I made my decision there. I didn't know anything about the school, but I knew I wanted to be here. 4 years later, here I am.
I actually have an older brother who's 2 years ahead of me, and he came to Gould in 8th grade for the ski program. So naturally, I was interested in coming to Gould. I did look at a few other schools, but I just didn't get the same feeling when I was touring the other schools. That, you know, when I was at Gould, I really felt like it was a tight community. Everyone says hi to you when you walk down the street. And, I just felt really welcomed, and I was like, you know, this is the natural place to be.
Okay. Does anybody, I'm just asking questions because we were concerned that you might not ask questions. So if anybody else has a question to ask, please go.
Just a quick question. So we got two who are a little more experienced and now are back as part of the faculty. And what are the differences today and when you guys were both here as students? Is there a difference? Do you feel things are they more permissive, less permissive, more open, less open? What do you think?
I'd say there's a handful of changes, and there's a lot of stuff that's the same. You know, pretty minute things like dress code, you know, are a little more relaxed now. Thankfully for the kids, they enjoy that. Spaces like this are different, obviously, completely renovated since we were here. But it's funny, there's kids that are 100%. I look at kids in the senior class, and I said this to you know, a ton of faculty here in the room, that, oh, that is so-and-so from the class of 2006. That is, you know, the 2014 version of so-and-so. And the kids are, you know, they have the same energy, the same enthusiasm, the same sense of self, and the same caring attitude that I've seen from Gould students throughout the years. You just get a certain type of kid here. That's, you know, a lot of times parents will ask me, you know, who's the type of kid who goes to Gould? And we have a ton of different types of kids here, and that's what makes it special. One of the reasons I didn't feel like I was in an environment that was supportive at Governor Dummer was it was an environment of a bunch of kids who were, you know, focused on who was going to get the most playing time in varsity sports, and that was about it. When I came here, there was kids who were interested in being outdoors, and kids who were interested in spending time with friends and exploring and growing as individuals. And I'd say that's one of the biggest things that stayed the same, is you see that interest and that uniformity in kids. Sorry,
Should I go?
yeah, sorry, I've let a few people elaborate on that answer as well.
Well, some of the things I got automatically noticed when I come to campus is there's like new additions, like the library's been completely redone. It's, you know, beautiful now, and we have the Ideas Center that is growing, the turf field. So there's those things, and then one of the things that I love about Gould is there's so many teachers and faculty who come back year after year after year that even though every year is different at Gould, that, you know, the people stay the same, and so it kind of creates this great sense of community that is there year to year to year.
Carrie?
Yes, I was just curious, were you all, or are you and were you all involved in the on-snow programs here at Gould?
I was.
You were?
Yep.
Yeah, I did the ski patrol program.
Okay.
So I came here as a sophomore.
And both of you?
Yeah, I started off as a comp ski racer, and then I ended my winter term, like last year, I guess, here as I made it active, like helper.
So I'm just curious, a student coming here that might not be involved in the on-snow program, do you feel that there's a supportive community that is not as active on snow?
Definitely, I'd say in a variety of ways. From just, you know, Winter Outing Club is a new program that we launched this year, and it was a smaller group who was involved in that, but it's just definitely a group of people who weren't necessarily interested in being involved in stuff at the resort, but still enjoy being outdoors and being active, and engaged in activities that, you know, are kind of fun for them. outing club program is a great opportunity for a lot of kids because, you know, it's not necessarily a program where you need to compete against anyone. You don't need to practice to get better than anyone at anything. So it's kind of, hey, what do you want to do? Let's figure out something that's really fun for all of us to do as a group.
Thank you.
Okay. So what was your favorite part of
We have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Everybody kind of looked at me.
So you guys have done your initial visits, and you're all persuaded, all excited about going here, and then you got here. What was different about the experience and reality compared to those initial expectations? What was different about it? Good, and what were the kind of challenges?
I would say there's a lot of things that are different, things that you just have to learn about yourself. And one of the biggest lessons I learned about myself is when I came here as a sophomore. The first few weeks, you know, you're a 15, 16-year-old kid, you have a lot of time, you know, going to bed to think about yourself. And, you know, I was really happy all the time during the day, and then at night I was like, oh man, maybe I made the wrong decision coming here. You know, you just have so much time to kind of second guess things and kind of think about things and get adjusted. But I really learned that, you know, coming here I needed to take time to adjust to things and really understand what the program was. In terms of things being not up to my expectations, I wouldn't say there was really anything that I was surprised about or things that I was like, oh, I didn't know that I had to do that every day. It was pretty, you know, well documented and pretty well explained throughout the process of coming here, everything that was going to be expected of me and things that I was going to have to do.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that completely. There wasn't one thing that I'd be like walking down the hall freshman year and be like, oh, I have to go do that. Everything is like laid out in a way where you know what the expectations are and you know how to meet them. And that's something really great about Gould, that there are really no surprises here. And you always have faculty to go talk to.
I'm going to kind of take this question a little bit differently. Something that was hard for me when I first came here was, I know since Madison did the 8th grade program, she had some friends here when she started. There was one kid who I knew from my town who actually was not really a big fan of, being completely honest, when we started out. He ended up leaving school, and I still see him at home sometime. But when I came here, I was basically all by myself. Like I didn't know anyone. But I made friends with some of my roommates' friends, and then I ended up pretty quickly finding my own group that I fell into. And the first week was really tough because I'd never, it's not that I hadn't been away from home before, but I'd never been away from home living on my own before. And so once I found that niche, it was incredibly easy. But I think the first month I probably went home like every weekend I could, and then slowly it died off, and like now I only go home when I have to. One less mouth to feed, I guess.
I guess for me, I don't even really remember being that worried about school. Like, I think my biggest concern was like, what kind of food are they going to give me? And so my brother was able to like answer that pretty easily. And one thing I noticed like right away the first day I was at Gould was I was walking from Gehring over here to this building, and every person I passed like either smiled or waved or said hi, and I was like, someone behind me, like what are they looking at? Why are they saying hi to me? Do they know me? And then I just like realized that that's just how people are here, and everyone's friendly. You get to know everyone really well, even if you don't want to know them really well. But just by chance, that because it's such a small community, and I feel like you're saying, making friends. A lot of times I found in college that your core group of friends become the people that you put with on your floor, whereas here is like you could be best friends with a junior or senior as a freshman, just because it's a small community. You get to interact with all the grades and get to know everyone pretty well.
Any other questions? Okay, so if you had to summarize your Gould experience in one moment, what would that moment be?
Just before we start, we knew this question was coming, and we still didn't prepare for it. Well, maybe these two did. When they met.
Can I throw out that not to undermine the question, but I don't think that there is one moment for me that really summarized like my time at Gould. I think I think that it's a collaboration of things that I've learned from freshman to senior year, and the things I'm going to be learning even as I approach, I guess it's 61 days till I graduate. There are just so many things that I've learned and so many little pieces of information that I've gathered from the people here that, I don't know, it's just a really great place.
I kind of reiterate what Madison said and can try to pick out a few examples that just speak to the and moments that Mount Ruby was talking about. You know, your sons and daughters will become, you know, like Matt said, athletes and scholars, and. There's so many and moments here, from being a sophomore here, learning how to run a chainsaw down on the farm, to working with Mr. Alford in the ski patrol program and learning wilderness medicine, to just spending time in the dorm and feel like I really actually getting to know adults who cared about me. There's so many moments that I would say would define it. And the one thing that always comes to mind when people ask me a question like that is that it was my freshman year of college, and I was in an English class, a short story segment, and wasn't necessarily as prepared for class as I should have been that day. And I was super familiar with the title of the story that we were supposed to have read that day. And I was like, where have I heard this? And so Miss Manning, who I'd had for 2 years out of my 3 years here as an English teacher, I pulled out my phone and called her on her cell phone, and I said, like, did we read A Rose for Emily? And she went through with it, and she's like, yeah, it was the book that we talked about this and that and that. And she kind of went through the story with me and explained some of the kind of themes in the story. And by the end of the phone call, she's like, you're kind of short of breath. Are you running to class right now? so she caught me on that one. I would say, and that was kind of one of those moments where I realized that I wasn't here anymore. I wasn't necessarily on her radar, but she still took the time to reach out to me or answer my phone call and take 5-10 minutes to talk to me about that story, and it was a great moment for me.
What'd you get for a grade?
On that side, I don't recall. I got to be in the class. It was a good class.
Oh, right, you started. So I'll try to answer the question, I guess. I keep trying to think of really good moments, and I can't think of a really good moment. I know there's a bunch out there, but I just can't think of one. The only thing I keep thinking of is my first memory from freshman year, which is my current roommate. Most of you guys probably met him last night at the dessert formal. His name's Tristan. He was down at the table giving out name tags, tall, darker skin, brown hair, senior. My first memory of him is me walking down the stairs of Hanscom with my other friend TC, and him going by on a scooter wearing a duck mask quacking. And I don't know why I thought that was relevant, but I guess some people might say that's a little weird. I would agree. And but when you see what he came from to where he is now, he's still that weird kid, but now he's a proctor, he's a jacketed ski patroller, he does great in school, he's into the colleges he wants to go to. He came from that duck mask scooter riding kid all the way to here, which is, I think is pretty cool.
Is that it?
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm going to go back to that, my first memory of being at Gould and walking across the campus and everyone saying hi to me. And it's the same way now, even though I've been out of Gould for, oh my gosh, 7 or 8 years. I'll see people that I went to high school with and haven't seen them since high school, and it's like no time has passed, you say hi. It's so easy to connect with alumni, and we have alumni come back throughout the year and give career presentations, and I've been connected through Alumni since I've graduated, and it's awesome. And just getting to know everyone on that personal basis and being able to go up to someone 8 years later and say hi, how's it going, and it's not awkward at all. It's pretty awesome.
Along those same lines, I would say that Gould kind of promotes the camaraderie and friendship that a lot of people find with their college friends, and that's just because of the type of experience and the type of learning and athletics and exposure you have. My core group of friends who I talk to every day on a regular basis is still the 6 or 7 guys who I went to Gould with. It's whether it's just shooting a short text message or checking up with each other on the phone, we still talk every day, 7 days a week, and super close, and we see each other monthly. Which for a lot of people they're like, whoa, that's a little crazy. But that's just the type of friendship that this place fosters and promotes. And beyond the academics, beyond the sports, really offering an experience for your child that's unique and goes above and beyond what I think a lot of places will offer.
Great. Any more questions? Go ahead.
I have an odd question. Is there anything you guys wish you took more advantage of when you were going through, or even looking back the last few years ago that you said, I should have done this and I didn't get a chance to?
More art. Always wish I did more art.
I wish I'd taken advantage of the math center a little more. I personally know that I shy away from math because I don't really like it. I'm not very good at it, and I don't know. People in the math center don't judge. Like, none of the centers here judge. Like, you can go in and be like, I don't even know how to do this. Because that's me every day during class. But yeah, I really just wish I'd taken advantage of that, and I'm going to try to this term.
61 days left.
Not really a point at this point. Something something I think I would have done a little bit differently, or taken advantage of, would probably be. Actually, I don't know. I like to think I've pretty much done everything I wanted to. I think I probably would have done a couple more weekend trips that I wouldn't normally go on. But other than that, I think I've done pretty much everything I wanted to. I think it's pretty great.
I wish I could do high school all over again for 4 years. And I do different stuff every year. There's so many things that Gould has to offer, and I found I did 3 sports, a different sport every season, all 4 years of the same sport, and you get really busy and caught up in all those sports. And I think you shouldn't be afraid to say, oh, you know what, I think I'm going to try soccer this year instead, or I'm going to try farm and forest instead. Or instead of taking this AP class, maybe I'll just take an art class that I've really been wanting to do. Maybe it won't look as good on my college resume, but it's, I don't have an opportunity to do it any other time. And if I could do high school all over again, I certainly would definitely do more art and try other activities. I wouldn't find myself to one sport for the entire 4 years.
Great. Any more questions? Thanks, you guys. So, you can go. Back to class.